Good night. How everyone doing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J, the creator of the world. I don't have no news for y'all tonight, but I do have a word for y'all tonight. And the topic gonna be Jesus arise above it all after 3 days. Now this story gonna be about how you arrive over all the stuff that you done went through, all your pain, your suffering, and then you arrive above it, and you arrive up to the top. I'm gonna have two stories gonna be with Jesus arrived above all, and then you're gonna be Joseph. He arrived above all. All the stuff that he done went through. He arrived over through power. So sometimes all the pain and all the struggles that you go through, God always fixes where you arrive right on time. You arrive above all the drama, all the pain, and all the suffering. So this story of Jesus' downfall, pain, and suffering, all that he went through on earth. Now he rise above it all at the end, after 3 days. So Mark 6, chapter 6, 1 through 6. Now, the first downfall is gonna be when he went home to his hometown. This is where he raised up at. Went to his hometown, saw his old friends and stuff. And it was on Sabbath day. So he teaching and everything. But the main people he thought were gonna support him and listen to his teaching was not supporting him. His relatives, his friends, the people in his hometown. I mean, they refused to even listen to his teaching. But they had a few people that would listen to his teacher, and they say he was amazing. But you expect for your relatives, your friends, you expect for those people to be happy that he came home to listen to him preaching. And you had one of his friends say, ain't that Mary's son? That we grew up with. So they figured because they grew up together, and now he arising and he coming around and he preaching, so some people feel type of way about that, so he didn't proceed no kind of miracles in his hometown because they reject his teaching, but he laid his hand on some six that was there, so the so he felt like he was a prophet without honor. He was raised up there. And he go back home and he felt like he was a prophet without any honor. Then they honor him and then say congratulations or nothing. So he felt like he was a prophet without honor. They did not want to listen to his teaching. And now this is his relatives, his friends. Now he could not do any miracles there, but he laid his hand on some few sick people. So he had to leave to fulfill God will. So he had to go somewhere where someone that wants to listen to his teaching. He can't just stay in the state and nobody don't want to listen to him. So he had to move around and fulfill God will where he had to go and teach so where somebody can hear the word. Now he got another downfall. Now this was one of his disciples, Julia, betrayed him. This is a disciple that walked around with him for a very long time. And a lot of times they be the one that will betray you. That's the one that's under you. So Julia betrayed and had arranged a single with them. That Julia identified Jesus by betrayed a kiss. So now Julia is one of Jesus' disciples who was with Jesus on his journey, but went behind Jesus' back and betrayed him, and come back with the men to arrest Jesus and identify him with a kiss. So here go another downfall. So when they came, Jesus they wanted to arrest Jesus. But the rest of the disciples didn't want them to arrest Jesus. So one of them cut the guy's ear off. And Jesus said no. No, he told the disciple no. He had to be arrested. Because Jesus stated that the scriptures must be fulfilled. He know there was his purpose. So he know he had to go to jail. He had to go through what he had to go through. So another downfall with Peter, another disciple. He disowned Jesus. Jesus told him, "You're gonna disown me 3 times, and a crossroad will rock." So when the crossroad did cry three times, meaning that Peter disowned him, and then Peter started remembering the words that were spoken to him, and he felt the bitter. He felt the sad. Because when Jesus told him, "You're gonna deny me," he kept on saying, oh no, Master, not me, not me." But then it fulfilled that he did deny him 3 times. And this is another disciple that was with him for a long time. You know, so this is another downfall. So after he was in prison, they all mock him, spit on him, struck him with something on his head with a staff. So they beat him and forced him to carry across. I mean, he went through it. He went through it. Placed on a tree, and with a loud cry, Jesus took his last breath. But all that he went through, all that I named what he went through, he went through his hometown. He got his own relatives, his own friends did not want to listen to his teaching. And then he turned around, he got portrayed by one of his own disciples. Now they all was close for a long time. That was with Jesus. And then he betrayed Jesus with a kiss, to let them know that's him, to arrest him. So Jesus get arrested. And then Jesus, Peter disowned him. These are people that was with him. And then, he walking to the prison, and they mocking him. They struck him in the head, but through it all, he arised it all after 3 days. He arised it all. He arised it all. All that the pain and suffering he went through, all through the betrayal and dishonor, disown him. He went through it all. He went through it all. But he arrived. He arose above it all. And after 3 days, he lived. So all that he endured, the mock, the discharge, denial, the pain, the suffering, the rejection in hometown, all that pain and suffering he had to go through. But he arose above it all. In 3 days he arrived to glory, to glory. After resurrection, when he lived, and then when he lived after 3 days. And the guys that, the people that beat him and did all kind of stuff to him, this man never went to try to go look for these guys, to try to do cashback, to beat him and get him back. He never tried to do all that. He did. He took all his suffering. He took everything he had to endure. He know it was a purpose that had to be fulfilled. So he took all that pain, all that rejection, all that sorrow, and he'll rise above it all. He'll rise above it all. You know, and so he'll rise above it all to glory. Now this is another plan that God. This was another plan. God plan that was to see. It was fulfilled and complete. Jesus lived. Jesus lived after all that he went through. He'll rise above all that pain. He'll rise above all that suffering, all that rejection, all that betrayal, all that denial. He'll rise above it all. And that's how I am. All the stuff that I go through, I be mocked, I be laughed at, I be all of that. but I rise above it all. At the end, you arise above all the drama, all the betrayal, all the mock. You arrive all that. And it's gonna be all worth it at the end. Because at the end, Jesus arrives above it all and he lived. He lived and his purpose was fulfilled. So this passage was about no matter what you go through, no matter what you go through, at the end, you will arise above all. You will arise above it all. All all the crap and drama that you're going through. You will arise above it all. Jesus went through something through his journey. He went through something. But at the end, it was all worth it because everything was fulfilled. Everything was fulfilled. So we have another person that arrived above it all. You got Joseph. Remember Joseph? God gave him a gift of a dream. Now we will first talk about Joseph's gift from God. Now Joseph was always dreaming, but he was a young boy with a gift. He was very excited, and he just wanted to tell his brothers about his dream. But they was all jealous, and they didn't want to hear his dream. He was a young boy. God gave him a gift while he was young, and he always was dreaming. Nobody but Jacob probably told him that was God, putting all the dreams in him. By his boy, he probably didn't know anything about God. But Jacob had an encounter with God. So Jacob knew a lot about God. He got close with God at one time. So now we will talk about all Joseph's downfall, like I just did with Jesus. Now he had to face pain and suffering. He had to endure. But then when we see how God will rise Joseph above it all and power. Now Joseph's downfall, his number one downfall, that Joseph was thrown in the pit and sold. So Joseph's brother is jealous. They was tired to keep on hearing his dreams. They didn't want to hear his dream no more. So they was plotting to kill him. So when Joseph was looking for them, they called him over. They took his robe off of him, that he was wearing, that was what Jacob had fixed him, had sewed together, and they took him and they threw him in a censer. Now the censer was empty and they have no water in it. The brother was just so mean because they were so jealous that he had a gift and he always was telling them about his dreams. So the brothers said, let's sell him. Let's sell him to the Ammonite. So the brothers agreed not to lay hands on him. Because remember, they plot to kill him at first. But the youngest brother had said, no, we're not going to kill him. But if you want to throw him in a pit, we'll throw him in there. They agreed not to lay hands on him, but remember, they wanted to kill him first. So the Mennonite person came by, and his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the censer and sold him for 20 skeletons in silver. Now sold him to these people who took him to Egypt. So that's how Joseph gets to be in Egypt. So Joseph was sold into slavery. This is downfall. He was sold into slavery. Now this is how Joseph ended up in Egypt. So he ended up in Egypt with Potiphar's wife. Now she was claimed that Joseph tried to go to bed with her, but Joseph ran out. Joseph didn't try to go to bed with her. She wanted Joseph so bad. Because remember, they said Joseph was a good-looking man. So Joseph staying with these people here. He a slave. These people sold him to these people. So this is the second downfall right here. That the wife gonna lie and say that Joseph tried to get with her. So first God was with Joseph and give him success in everything he did. Now God gonna be with Joseph this whole time, this whole journey. So so Potiphar like left Joseph to take care of everything. He loved Joseph to take care of everything. Including the wife just walking around, hanging around, just watching Joseph, waiting for the husband to leave. So Joseph was a good looking man. But the wife saw how good looking he was and just following him around. So the wife wanted Joseph to go to bed with her. So Joseph refused to go to bed with her, and she caught him by his coat and she yelling to come to bed. Now she begging Joseph to go to bed with her. So Joseph refused. Joseph left his coat in her hand, and Joseph ran out. Now you never saw a man gonna run from a woman when a woman trying to get him to go to bed. But Joseph was an honest and he was a godly man. So Joseph already knows she was somebody's wife. So he ran, and she had a hold to his coat, and he let her have. So he ran out the house. So after he ran out of the house, she screaming for help, saying he, tried to did something with her. So the husband believed the wife because remember Joseph left his coat in her hand, and by he left evidence, she used that against him. So that was his downfall right there. The wife, the wife gonna lie and put a claim on. So now, three, his other downfall when he gonna be sent to prison because of that, and he gonna be in prison for 2 years for something he did not do. So while Joseph was in prison, once again, he rose to the top quickly because while he in jail, he in charge. He in charge, free labor, administer things in prison. So Joseph interpret dreams. He in jail, but he got power in jail, doing all kinds of stuff. He interpreted dreams while he in there. So now Joseph was in prison for 2 years. Joseph got out, and let's see what Joseph went through. So now Joseph went. Joseph's out of prison. So let's try back at all the stuff that Joseph went through. Now Joseph's brothers throw him in a pit because they were jealous of his gift. And then on top of it, they sold him to slavery. Now while he in slavery, he had to deal with the desperate wife that running around him, behind him, want him, and and put a false claim on Joseph where it ended up him being in prison. So now he in prison for 2 years. In 2 years, but quickly he rise above all. He rise above all, and he gonna come out with power. He came out with power. So Pharaoh give him power over Egypt. Now he done went through all that pain and suffering, sit in jail for 2 years for something he did not do. But he come out. That just how God works. He come out with power. Now he ain't under that man no more. He under Pharaoh now. Now Pharaoh give him power over Egypt. So all that pain, all that suffering, all that lying, all that he had to do, he arise above it all and come out with power. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes your pain and suffering, all the bullcrap you're going through, all the lies that come against you, sometimes at the end you'll rise over it all, and you'll come out with power. Jesus arrived all his, but he came out alive. He went through all kind of stuff, and still came out after 3 days. He lived. He lived to glory to glory. And now Joseph come out of prison and run right into power. He'll rise above it all and come out with power. So Joseph rise above it all. Above it all. Now we see how God worked. Now he was with Joseph the whole time. You remember earlier I had said God was with Joseph. Now God give him that gift. As he was a young boy. God, he was one that God favored. That's Jacob's son. He had favor with Jacob. So he gonna take care of Joseph. So now we see how God worked. He was with Joseph the whole time, and now we see another God plan was succeed. So God gonna make sure his plan be succeed. All that stuff that Joseph went through, God was right there with him. God was right there with him. That's why Joseph was able to make it. See, when you got God right there with you, you're able to go, you're able to arrive all your problems. That's just like me. I'm arising all the drama that come in my way, all the lies that come in my way, everything being mocked, being laughed at. I'm arising all of it, arising all of it. And you're able to rise all of it if you constantly keep on doing what you got to do and not respond back to negativity. As long as you got God right there by your side, you're gonna ride anything. That God was right there by you. You know, God was in Jesus. So they both arrived above all the drama, above all their pain and suffering. And at the end, they win at the end. Because Joseph was power. Joseph had with power over all Egypt. When his daddy and his brother came, he had to point out where they can live at. They had the only spot where they can live at. He owned all that. You know. So Pharaoh told him, let your family let them pick what you want your family to stay. He was running everything after the lies, after the betrayal, after the lies, all after the pit. After he was thrown in a pit, after he was a slave, after the lies, he arised it all and turned out to have power. Power right after he got out of jail. That's how God worked. That's how God worked. All that stuff that Joseph had to go through. He come out with power. Come out with power. You know, he owned all Egypt, running all Egypt. He was a slave. He was thrown in a pit. He was a slave. He was lied on, was thrown in jail. And while he in jail, people still coming to him, interpreting my dreams. They know what a good man he was. And by the man husband, the wife husband, by Joseph left evidence in her hand, she used that to for her husband to believe her. An innocent man went to jail for nothing and served 2 years. But it doesn't matter. All that stuff that he went through, thrown in a pit, lied on, being a slave, being in jail. But he'll rise it all. He'll rise above it all. And we can rise above all our drama and everything else that come with it. We can rise above it all. Just like they did. Sometimes your pain, your suffering, your drama, all the stuff that you go through, you still will come out on time if you keep on focused on what you have to do. See, I ain't gonna never stop. I'm gonna keep on focused on what I have to do, because I'm gonna arrive all the blood clot that come my way. I'm gonna arrive it all. Jesus arrived above it all. After 3 days, Jesus lived. Jesus lived. And he did not go try to find and hunt these people down that put them on the tree and that beat them, that mocked them. He didn't try to hunt these people down at all. He know he had a purpose to fulfill. And he just went through it. He went through it. And that's how some of us, we have to go through it. Sometimes you don't have no choice but to go through it. Because how you can stop? How you can control it? You can't. But keep on praying. That's the only way. That's the only way. You can let God control it. We can't control it because sometimes we try to keep on with it. We can't keep on with our own body. We can't control it. So we have Jesus around it all. He went to his hometown, got rejected, his own teaching. He went home thinking they were going to congratulate him, pat him on his back. But his relatives, his friends, nobody didn't want to acknowledge him. He was like, a prophet in this whole time with no honor. They did not honor him or none of that. And then on top of it, he get betrayed by one of his disciples. And on top of it again, he get disowned by another disciple, get betrayed by a kiss, then go to prison, get on the tree. This man arrived it up. After 3 days, he arrived. He arrived being alive. And Joseph. Joseph was drawn in a pit. Joseph probably was dying there, probably thought he was going to die. Thought he probably was going to never see light again. But God was right there beside him. God was going to make sure he get out of there. Sometimes God can touch people's heart. Sometimes God will use somebody else to help you, use somebody else to bless you. God probably touched them people's hearts to pass by and pull him out, to pull them out of there. They pulled him out of there and sold him to slaves. His brother collects silver and gold from his brother. And then the people pulled him out of slavery. He go to a desperate a house with a desperate wife at, so desperate want to be with another man to Joseph already was encounter with God. So he was already a godly man. And he already was gonna telling her no. He was not gonna touch that married woman. He is a godly man. But she was in lust and she just wanted Joseph so bad. And the passage said he was a good looking man. So the passage is about no matter what you going through, you still can come out on top. It might look like you're in a pit. It might look like, you're down and out. It might look like you're in that pit with no water in there. It might look like that. But you got God in your life. Like God was with Jesus. God was with Joseph. With Joseph the whole time. God was going to make sure he get Joseph out of that pit. Sometimes when people help you, they don't help you on their own. So God get into people's heart and make them help you. Get in people's heart to bless you. And so don't worry about what you're going through. Worry about what you're going through, but don't worry too much what you're going through or how you look. Because you can rise it up and still come out on top. Joseph still came out on top. Jesus still came out on top. All that stuff they did him, he still lived. All that Joseph went through, he still arrived on top at the end. He arrived on top at the end. And he started out being in a pit. So you could be in a pit, you could be in a downfall, you can be betrayed, you can be lied on. Remember, you ain't gonna stay down there in that pit too long. Joseph wasn't even in that pit long enough. The people passed by and pulled him out. The brothers helped the people pull him out. So I mean he wasn't in there that long. So a lot of times don't worry about you in that pit. Because God gonna make sure you're not in that pit for a long period of time. He gonna pull you out. And when he pull you out, you're gonna absorb all the stuff that you done went through. It's gonna be right at the end. Because Joseph got power at the end. Jesus got power at the end. After 3 days, he lived. And he arrived above all that he went through. Joseph arrived all that he went through. Because sometimes it may look like you're in a pit. It may look like you're in a pit. It may look like you're at downfall. Jesus had people around him for years walking around with him while he on his journey. And that's the same people that betray him and deny him. And it always will be that way. It'll be the people that's right under you will betray you. Now, Jesus told Julia, I was with you every day. You was with me every day while I was preaching and teaching. And you do this to me. And they'll be the ones that would do that to you. He said the same thing with Peter. You would deny me 3 times. He said, oh no, Master, I will never deny you. He had 2 disciples was with him all that long time. Why this man preaching and teaching, you know, and they betray him and deny him. They were like a loving family. Like there was family. They were with each other every day. Jesus told him, we were together every day. You betrayed me. We were together every day. You deny me. You know, and then he grew up in his hometown. The same guys, the boys he played with, that's Mary's son, and he doing what? He teach, he preaching or what? Sometimes when people grow up with you and you were on that same level with them, it's hard for them to take in that rise. Instead of them congratulating you, instead of them at least listen to your word, they're worrying about your childhood. And that's how some people is. If they know you on the same level, or they grow up with you on that same level, but then you arrive a little higher than them, that's a problem. That's a problem, So they refuse to listen to his teaching because they kept saying, "Is That's the same person. That's Mary's son, who we grew up with, who we played with in the playground." So since that was the boy that they played with in the playground, since that was married child that they grew up together, they feel like they didn't want to listen to his teacher. And then Joseph started out in a pit, started out in